Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone out there. Thank you for joining our new PMP 450 platform advancement webinar. I have Matt Mangriotis here, our product manager. So without further ado, Matt, it's over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Matt Mangriotis. I'm the product manager for the 450 platform of products. We've done a lot over the last year or so, and I wanted to bring everyone kind of up to speed to what we've launched recently. For those that are new, I'm going to go through some of the basics around the platform, and then we'll get into kind of what we've done in the last 6 months or so, what the new advancements are in the platform, and then what we are introducing in the very, very near future. Some exciting stuff. So let's get going. And the first slide here is kind of the snapshot of the entire portfolio. I like to lead with this slide because it kind of encompasses all of what Cambium has to offer in terms of we can cover that last mile from 200 kilometers down to 2 meters. We have a full suite of product in the portfolio from all the way from licensed microwave products in the PTP 820 to the unlicensed PTP 650, and that'll get you very long distances and very high throughput. And what we're focused on today is the 450 platform, which is our access layer flagship equipment. We also have the ePMP equipment for access, and then we can go inside the home now. We've launched the WLAN set of products that are kind of the Wi-Fi, if you will, in the home that can support indoor, outdoor Wi-Fi, as well as we're going to be beefing up that portfolio as we move forward in the future with the advancements into the AC products, both in and outdoor. And all of this can be managed with the CN Maestro platform, which is our new network management platform. We're going to be rolling in various products throughout this year into that tool. Right now, we support ePMP and pilot products, and then in Q2, we will be supporting the 450 product line in Maestro as well. So very excited to see that come through, and that's kind of the next big thing with the management software as well. So going to the next slide. This is another view of that, and I just want to point out that the flagship 450 platform is really the one you want to choose for unparalleled scalability in a multi-point network. We support 125 megs per sector today in many frequencies, so we have many tools to cover the need as of right now, and we'll be expanding that as we'll talk about future. Go ahead to the next slide. So just a summary of what the product is. It is the fourth generation, if you will, of the PMP product family. We've developed this thing, and it's based largely on the Canopy style of product that goes way back. We just retired that product line, the PMP 100 product line, after about 12 years of it being in the field. And this product grew out of that product. That was an FSK-based product, and the 450 platform is an OFDM-based product, but similarly proprietary interface with the high scalability and features that come along with that. So the goal of this product line was to improve system capacity. We do that with in a near non-line of sight scenario, as well as optimized for line of sight in the 5 gigahertz band. It is a software-defined radio, so we can rapidly expand to new frequencies, and we have done so over the last couple of years. And GPS synchronization, again, is a very important hallmark of this platform that allows you to maximize the use of existing spectrum and support low latency that isn't impacted by loading or the number of subscribers. And of course, every time we make a hardware change, we try to make installation easier. Next slide, please. So just a quick overview of the architecture. If you haven't seen it or are not familiar with the 450 platform, it's a very, very simple, very, very flat architecture. At the access point side, on the left-hand side of the screen, you have your base station, and you can have multiple access points at a base station, covering 4 or 6 sectors, and you can have multiple rings at that base station to cover many bands, however much density is required. It's again, fully scalable product, and with GPS synchronization, you can put multiple rings of access points to get very, very high bandwidths from a particular site. That site would be connected to your end, and then that over the air transmits the radio signal to the subscriber module, which is typically on the residence, and that can be powered by a single Ethernet cable through either the pilot device or just a simple power supply. providing that connection to the customer. So it's very, very simple, flat architecture. No need to worry about any gateways or eNode Bs or anything like that that add complexity and cost to the network. Go on to the next slide, please. This is just a specification table. You can look at the spec sheets available online, but this kind of gives you an idea of the 450 series. We do support multiple frequency bands. We support a lot of throughput. In a 20 meg channel, we can do about 125 megs in the highest modulation. It's a dynamic modulation adaptive product, so it adapts to the available RF conditions and so forth. Go to the next slide, please. Just another view of what it looks like. Again, just for comparison and size, in case you haven't seen it before, that URL leads to the website. Feel free to go to the website and click on products, and you'll find the 450. Next slide. The subscriber end of the product line, we support many instantiations or many variants of the subscriber module. And I just want to point out there's use cases or different uses for all of these various forms of the subscriber module. So the top row we introduced when the 450 first came out, that integrated SM on the left has a moderate gain antenna inside. It's a patch antenna that supports about 9 dB in the 5 gigahertz range. You can augment that with a passive clip, which gets you to about 18 dB, or you can put any of the frequencies on this offset reflector dish, which gives you the most gain you can get in that style of radio. We do sell connectorized subscriber modules, which have N-type cables coming out of them, and you can hook up whatever antenna you want, dual pole antenna. We now sell the 450D product in 5 gigahertz, which is the highest gain integrated version we sell. That provides about 25 dB of gain. And then the 450i, which is I'll talk more about that in just a minute, but the 450i comes in both connectorized and an integrated high gain panel antenna. Go on to the next slide. Some of the advantages with 450, I just want to point out kind of the whys and wherefores of why you might want to consider this system. Channel access methodology is a scheduled and deterministic TDD radio. So it's scalable, and it determines which subscribers need data at any given frame because they ask for it. It's not a contention-based system where the more you load up the access point, the more it might have to pull or wait for a slot available to transmit data. The subscribers actually ask for data and then are granted data in that same frame. So it's a very scheduled map of the frame, and it's deterministic. What that means is that you have low and consistent latency. It doesn't really change with loading, which is critical for voice applications and gaming applications especially. So it's really consistent, low latency throughout the network. And because of GPS synchronization, we can support, we minimize self-interference, and we maximize the use of available spectrum in the same sector, and reuse the frequency pattern across your entire network. So you can actually take available spectrum, any available spectrum, reuse those 40 megahertz in your network with a substantial amount of data. These things together, capacity. It's really a high real user throughput and a system scalability. Go on to the next slide. So we've been continually improving the products as we go forward in time, and since launch we've added several new frequency bands, including we started with 5 gig, 5.4 and 5.8 support. We've added 2.4, 3 gigahertz. We've now encompassed the entire 5 gig spectrum with the 450i product, and we added 900 megahertz very recently last year. So we now cover many of the unlicensed bands, especially in North America, that are available to utilize free of charge, if you will. We've added new modulation modes and levels, meaning we now support single or dual payload MIMO operation, including all the way up to 256 QAM to improve that top line throughput. We've added the capability to support higher packet per second processing, which helps in a great deal in the access point side. And we support 1700 byte MTU, which is MPLS friendly, we like to call it. We have a feature-rich QoS, which supports many methods of QoS within the radio itself. You don't need other back-end networking equipment to support different QoS styles or high-priority channels, which is sometimes critical for voice traffic. Go ahead to the next slide. So we've continued to improve. Now I'll start talking about the various products that were released recently, and I'll go fairly quickly through these so that we can get to the up-and-coming things. But the 450D was released last year, and this product is an integrated parabolic dish on the SM. This is in 5 gigahertz only, and this is the original 450, so it covers both 5.4 and 5.8. It's the same radio inside, but it's mated to a high gain dish, and this is a 25 dBi integrated parabolic dish. It works with our existing power supplies, meaning the 30 volt power supplies. The real beauty of this product is that it's very, very easy to assemble and deploy. It's sold in 4 packs and comes with 4 radios and 4 dish assemblies in a single box. So it's compact in terms of loading on the truck and therefore stuff like that. And assembly takes under 3 minutes. It's right around 2 minutes 30 seconds when I did it, and I'm no installer by any means. But it's really just 4 bolts that hold that rear parabolic dish onto the radio itself, and then everything else snaps into place. And so installation is quite easy. And it really eliminates any of the alignment, potential alignment gotchas that you might have with an offset reflector in terms of intuitive aligning and stuff like that. So it's really a great, easy to deploy product that's reasonably priced as well. Next slide, please. We also introduced the 450i platform. Now this is a complementary product to the portfolio. It's not replacing anything. And you might say, well, what does the I stand for? In this case, it's more of an industrial design, but it does bring a lot of new things to the table. It's a new radio design, which means now we are supporting with the 450i 4900 to 5925 in terms of frequency support. So we support new bands, the 4.9 band, the 5.1 band, and the 5.2 band, if those are available in your area. We have improvements to the radio design itself as well, in that we can go to a little bit higher transmit power where that's available by regulatory rules, and it has a little bit better receive sensitivity, so you can go a little bit farther as well. We also included a feature called the dynamic interference filtering. What that does is actually eliminates any off-channel but in-band noise, meaning that if you select a specific channel, this filter actually electronically wraps around that channel and isolates anything outside only the channel that you're interested in. Very critical feature for high interference environments, and we've seen this actual feature work really well when a customer will outlay and replace the 450 radio with the 450i in a high interference environment. He'll actually see his uplink modulation of all the subscribers go to the next level because of this filtering, and which improves the overall efficiency of the network. So it's a pretty cool feature to have added as well. This is all built upon a new FPGA, which is actually a system on a chip. It has 2 embedded ARM processors, which is kind of the next generation of processing speed. We're clocking in around the 45,000 packet per second range right now, and we have a path to get even higher than that. So we're constantly improving packet per second processing on the 450i, and there's more room to do so because of this new SoC that we're using. We're also going to be able to do cool things like wider channel support, which I'll talk about in just a minute. It's a ruggedized enclosure and goes to the industrialized design. It's in the connectorized version, it's an all-metal enclosure, and it's visually it looks a little bit like the PTP 650 series, but about 2/3 the size. So it gives you increased reliability. It's fully IP6667, which means we can put it in harsh conditions and in very tough spots. We will have a ATEX HAZLOC certified model available in the May-June timeframe, and that'll be kind of the Class 1 Div 2 type of certification there. We're moving toward a power scheme that is more standardized as well. So we're talking about 8023AT PoE compatible power on this guy, which is a 56 volt DC rail. So it's a little bit different than our traditional 30 volt product. And we do have this aux port, which I'll talk about in just a second as well, because that's coming in the very next software release. Next slide, please. You may say, well, why would I want a 450i versus a 450? Well, again, let me just recap the differences between the 450 and the 450i. It is an advanced radio design, so there's increased transmit power where allowed. It's a little bit better sensitivity, so you get a little bit better range. That increased processing power due to the SoC, or the new FPGA, is almost 4 times that of the existing 450 access point. The dynamic interference filter may be important if you're in a high interference environment and you want that AP to be more resilient to those interference around it. It's industrialized and rugged mechanics, so it does have increased reliability in hazardous environments. And it's a wideband radio, so we do support all of the bands available in the unlicensed 5 gig space, as well as the 4.9 band if you have access to the municipal. It's typically local and state governments that have access to that 4.9 band, but if you do, it could be a very nice clean band because you typically need a license to operate there. The aux port allows you to directly connect something because it provides 8023AT power out, up to 30 watts of power to a device connected directly to that aux port. So very, very cool ability to put out a camera, another Wi-Fi access point, or even another radio, access point radio to extend your network. And again, that comes because of the 8023AT PoE powering now. So I do want to mention at this point that we do have a trade-up promotion going on right now, and see your reseller for details on that. But in essence, it amounts to you trade in your existing 450 access point for a 450i, and you get about $400 of credit. Go ahead to the next slide. We did late last year launch a high gain directional SM in 3 gigahertz. This comes in both the 3.5 and 3.65 variant. And what this is taking the 450 subscriber module board and putting it into the 450i housing. So it is a 450 in this housing, but it adds this integrated high gain antenna. So you get 19 dB of gain in a 12-inch by 12-inch flat panel. And then you can use the new tilt bracket as well to attach to a pole. So it's very easy to align and install. It's a little bit more expensive because of the rugged mechanics and the high gain, high performing antenna, but it's a great alternative to the offset reflector dish if you need something like that. So that's available as well. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that. Go on to the next slide. The other main product we unleashed in this band, or in this platform, is the 450i 900 megahertz product. Now this product has gotten a lot of buzz. We had a couple of previous webinars discussing the performance of this product, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on this today. However, I do want to make everyone aware that this product is available. It covers the ISM band, if you will, which is the unlicensed 900 megahertz band in North America, as well as other pockets of the world. We're hearing about more and more spaces around the world that can take advantage of this band. We support 5, 7, 10, or 20 meg channels in this band. It's, again, every bit of 450. The subscriber end is more like a 450 in that it uses the 30-volt rail, so you can reuse existing power supplies. So we know many customers have PMP 100 equipment out there in 900 megahertz and are kind of have been stuck with it for many years because 900 megahertz is typically used where nothing else works. It works very well in a non-line of sight scenario because of the frequency, and not a lot of other products can replace it. And so this provides you an opportunity to make those changes to those subscribers that have been stuck with the 900 megahertz PMP 100 product, but you can actually reuse that existing power supply that maybe so you don't even have to go in the customer's home. You can just go on the roof, replace the radio with this new guy, and you're off and running. The access point is a 450i, and we've gone to, again, the 8023AT PoE. So it's a 56 volt power supply on the access point. And you can see that pictured on the right side of the slide there. So we're utilizing that new architecture, maximizing the spectral efficiency, and we're able to time and co-locate with the PMP 100 equipment, so you can make this migration over time. You don't have to do everything all in a knife switch or a forklift type fashion. So the expectation in terms of performance, if typically you're going to be deploying in kind of a 7 meg channel, because in the past if you're using the PMP 100 equipment, you're utilizing an 8 meg channel and utilizing 3 channels across that spectrum, which gets you to a maximum of about 4 megs per sector. And what we can expect under the exact same RF conditions, meaning a high noise floor, lots of interference, we can expect from this product to deliver 12 to 16 megs of capacity. And this has been proven time and time again by customers. And I encourage you, if you have doubts, to go to our community forum and check it out, because there's tons of information there from other customers posting results, pictures, all kinds of information on how this product has been working for them. And it's great information. You can ask questions there. It's a very active community right now, specifically regarding the 900 megahertz product. And in a clean spectrum, of course, this is a 450 product, so we can provide over 100 megs per sector if you're able to utilize that 20 meg channel. And one other thing I want to point out here is that we're poised to launch a PTP variant of the 900 megahertz product based on the SM, so based on that Yagi connected to the SM, so there's going to be that on both ends, and that'll be priced pretty aggressively and be able to deliver this point-to-point 900 megahertz radio, which can go a long distance and provide you a decent amount of throughput. So in areas where you need some kind of non-line of sight connection and you're looking for a product that may be able to fill that gap, we will have that available probably within about 6 weeks or so. So we're working on that product launch right now, and that'll be simply a different model number, but it'll look exactly the same. So that's coming as well. Go ahead to the next slide. Again, to summarize the differences or the benefits of this 900 megahertz product, we're increasing the performance of the product, especially compared to the PMP 100, because it is based on the 450i platform. 900 megahertz works great non-line of sight. The propagation is fantastic. You can get through a lot of trees, and we've got that kind of shown in some data that's posted on the forum again, if you want to go check it out. It's a ruggedized enclosure on the AP, IP66, IP67. The SM is really a nice installation. If you look at that Yagi and the way that it's connected to the radio, simply clip it on to the back and screw in those two RP SMA connectors, and it's a very compact but 12.5 dBi Yagi antenna that we have available. It's an updated SoC. It's the same processor that's used on the 5 gigahertz 450i, so it's about 10 times the processing power of the PMP 100. And we have that aux port on the AP as well, so you can hook up a second device when that becomes available this month. And then for the power scheme, as I mentioned, you can continue to use those 30-volt power supplies on the SM side as well, and we've moved to the PoE standard compatible device on the AP. Next slide, please.
I also just want to remind everyone that if any questions do come about, please feel free to type that into the chat, and we could obviously address those as we go along with Matt.
So here's a snapshot kind of summarizing what I've just talked about in terms of releases over the past year. The green ones are all the ones that have been out and released so far. I do want to point out up to 14.1.2, which is the box on the bottom right there. We have an open beta out there, which will be refreshed most likely this Friday. So I encourage you to look for the refresh this Friday, because we're going to have all of those things listed down there in this refresh for open beta, and we'd love to have you test that and make sure that it's fixing the issues that have arisen since then. So I do call out several bug fixes down there. We had an issue with a watchdog timer that was resetting in certain scenarios, and that's been talked about quite a bit out there in the on both the forum and some other lists. And so that we do have a fix for, and we're eager to get people testing that in the field. We've been unable to make it fail here in the lab under very conditions that were failing earlier, so that's great news. And we have some customers testing that right now and have not seen that fail to date. So that's all great stuff. We've made a lot of progress on that. That was a very, very difficult issue to address, and the engineering team did a heck of a job getting that addressed. We've also added fixes for many things, including re-registration issues and config file issues that have been fixed in the 14.1.2 beta. We added back an aiming page because some folks like, rather than the alignment tone itself, a page that'll help align the radios, and so that's in there as well. And the ability to operate in the 5.2 and 5.4 bands for the 450i product in the FCC world. That's also going to be included in the next build of 14.1.2. So when that comes out this Friday, we'd encourage everyone to go try that out and make sure that it's the stable release that we intended it to be. And then yet in March, we will have the 14.2 official release sometime later in March, and we're going to support both 15 and 30 meg channels. And that means a couple different things, as well as the second Ethernet port on the 450i. So let's go to the next slide, and we'll talk a little bit about what that does for you. So system release 14.2 not only has all the stability and the bug fixes of the 14.1.2 release, but now we can do 30 meg channels. And what I'm showing here is a couple of link tests, and that's showing in a 450 to 450 scenario, we're at about 170 megs of throughput. And then of course these are optimal levels. These are in the lab type testing, but we're able to do lots of throughput in a 30 meg channel as compared to 20. And then if you're using 450i, because of the packet processing capabilities of the radio, even in a 1-to-1 scenario, you'll see numbers that are a little bit higher. And what we're showing there is about 207 megs or 208 megs of throughput. So that's what you can look forward to by using wider channel bandwidths if you can support that in your network. So very cool stuff there. We're increasing the headline throughput. And then the aux port. Sorry, go ahead. You can go to the next slide. The aux port on the 450i allows us to do a couple things. Now we've posted this on the forum as well in the past. We have a radio operating in a fish tank. Again, we mentioned it's a resilient product and it can operate in harsh environments. We're operating underwater. We don't recommend this necessarily, but we can do it. And it's been operating for a couple months now, and we added a camera in there. And we added the camera to the aux port directly, so it's being powered and bridged. The data is being bridged by that radio that's in the fish tank. Very cool stuff, just kind of for grins, but it simulates this video surveillance application, which we think is a pretty important aspect of the capabilities of our systems. So if you have the opportunity to work with the municipality or someone that requires traffic department or something like that that requires video surveillance, we can surely show a very solid use case in using the 450i equipment to do this. And the deployment is clean because of that aux port. So the aux port functionality comes out also in 14.2, and that's right around the corner. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Go to the next slide, please. So in summary, the PMP 450 platform is the industry-leading solution for critical networks. I mean, we have proven field reliability. It's built upon the quality legacy of the platform going back to the Canopy days for more than 12 years, in fact. We have a greater than 40-year calculated MTBF, which is tracking around the 90-year MTBF if you look at field returns. It's extremely scalable. You can have as many access points as you require on the network to provide the amount of throughput. Typically now we're seeing that customers are running into constraints with their backhaul rather than with the access layer equipment. So you need to actually upgrade the backhaul to keep up. Many access points can be deployed at every site to maximize the throughput. We're exploring a path to multi-user MIMO with the product. In fact, later this year, you'll see more information about it, but I just wanted to throw a teaser out there that we are exploring the multi-user MIMO capabilities of the platform. So it's 2x2 MIMO today, and you'll be able to reuse those existing subscriber modules in a multi-user platform in the future. So we're going to protect your investment in the platform by moving to multi-user capabilities in the near future. Again, we're building upon this GPS synchronization feature. It's a hallmark feature of the platform that maximizes spectral efficiency and allows frequency reuse across the network by minimizing self-interference. And as you see, I mean, we have a robust roadmap. I've talked about the near term today. In future webinars, we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming a little bit later as well. But that's pretty much it. We're going to be investing and serving this platform for years to come. So at this time, I think I'd like to take any questions that have arisen. Andrew, do you have any?
Yeah, Matt, we did have a question. We did have a question that just came in actually when you brought up this this multi-user MIMO system. You mentioned that currently we're utilizing it's a 2x2 MIMO,
Yep.
and the customer asked, what is it going to be looking to expand to, or what are you guys projecting that level increasing to?
Well, on the access point side, we're going to support more than that. At this point, I can't really comment on exactly what it's going to look like. We haven't released the specifications yet, but we are supporting in a multi-user scenario more than that. So we'll be able to talk to multiple subscribers at the same time slot, thereby multiplying the amount of capacity at a given sector. So that's a big advancement coming later this year. You'll hear more about this, don't worry.
Okay, so that's all we have so far, Matt. We can keep going on.
Okay, well that's about all I had, I think. If you go to the next slide, I think that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And if there are any more questions, please type them in, and we'll ask. And then
yeah, we'll give it a couple minutes here. And of course, I know Matt mentioned earlier for everyone, the community is a great area to discuss any questions you guys have, any ideas, any deployments you guys have. It's a great way to connect with other users and other customers that we have that have deployed our equipment in the past, as well as share your stories. You know, show us specifically what you guys have done. We have numerous customers using drones to show how high their deployments have gotten and what kind of interesting techniques they've used. So feel free to utilize the forum as a great avenue, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and so forth, to show us specifically what you guys have deployed.
And I do want to say that if anyone's in the Western Europe region, we will be at the CeBIT show in Germany next week. And then if anyone's in the North America region, we will have a large presence at the WISP America show also next week in Louisville. We're doing kind of a portfolio summary on Wednesday morning, and I encourage anyone who wants to learn more. That's a little bit more time at that event, and we'll talk about all of the products in the portfolio, including a lot of time for Q&A. And we'll be at the booth, so feel free to come and talk to us as well over there.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, that's all we have so far. So thank you for your time, and I thank everyone for joining. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.